The Quest for Immortality. Chapter 1. An Immortality Essay at en.wikipedia.org/wiki/immortality. Immortality. Man rising above death, reaching upward to God and toward peace. Immortality is the concept of eternal life. Some scientists, futurists, and philosophers have theorized about the immortality of the human body, with some suggesting that human immortality may be achievable with the help of certain technologies such as mind uploading, digital immortality. The absence of aging would provide humans with biological immortality, but not invulnerability to death by disease or injury. In religious contexts, immortality is often stated to be one of the promises of divinities to human beings who perform virtue or follow divine law. Life extension technologies claim to be developing a path to complete rejuvenation. Cryonics holds out the hope that the dead can be revived in the future, following sufficient medical advancements. Immortality in religion refers usually to either the belief in physical immortality or a more spiritual afterlife. In Mesopotamian and Greek religion, the gods made certain men and women physically immortal, whereas in Christianity, many believe that all true believers will be resurrected to physical immortality. Physical immortality is a state of life that allows a person to avoid death and maintain conscious thought. It can mean the unending existence of a person from a physical source other than organic life, such as a computer. Pursuit of physical immortality before the advent of modern science included alchemists, who sought to create the Philosopher's Stone, and various cultures' legends such as the Fountain of Youth or the Peaches of Immortality, inspiring attempts at discovering an elixir of life. Eliminate aging. There are three main causes of death: natural aging, disease and injury. Eliminating aging would require finding a solution to each of these causes. Telomerase is an enzyme which rebuilds the telomeres in stem cells and cancer cells, allowing them to replicate an infinite number of times. No definitive work has yet demonstrated that telomerase can be used in human somatic cells to prevent healthy tissues from aging. On the other hand, scientists hope to be able to grow organs with the help of stem cells, allowing organ transplants without the risk of rejection, another step in extending human life expectancy. These technologies are the subject of ongoing research and are not yet realized. Programmed cell death and the telomere and replication problem are found even in the earliest and simplest of organisms. Some scientists believe that boosting the amount or proportion of telomerase in the body, a naturally forming enzyme that helps maintain the protective caps at the ends of chromosomes, could prevent cells from dying and so may ultimately lead to extended, healthier lifespans. A team of researchers at the Spanish National Cancer Center, Madrid, tested the hypothesis on mice. It was found that those mice which were genetically engineered to produce 10 times the normal levels of telomerase lived 50% longer than normal mice. In normal circumstances, without the presence of telomerase, if a cell divides repeatedly, at some point all the progeny will reach their half-life limit. With the presence of telomerase, each dividing cell can replace the lost bit of DNA and any single cell can then divide unbounded. Embryonic stem cells express telomerase, which allows them to divide repeatedly and form the individual. In adults, telomerase is highly expressed in cells that need to divide regularly, e.g., in the immune system, whereas most somatic cells express it only at very low levels in a cell cycle-dependent manner. Technological immortality in an avatar. Technological immortality is the prospect for much longer lifespans made possible by scientific advances in a variety of fields: nanotechnology, emergency room procedures, genetics, biological engineering, regenerative medicine, microbiology, and others. Some combination of human cloning, cryonics or nanotechnology will play an essential role in extreme life extension. Robert Freitas, a nanorobotics theorist, suggests tiny medical nanorobots could be created to go through human bloodstreams, find dangerous things like cancer cells and bacteria and destroy them. Freitas anticipates that gene therapies and nanotechnology will eventually make the human body effectively self-sustainable and capable of living indefinitely in empty space, short of severe brain trauma. This supports the theory that we will be able to continually create biological or synthetic replacement parts to replace damaged or dying ones. Future advances in nanomedicine could give rise to life extension through the repair of many processes thought to be responsible for aging. Raymond Kurzweil, a futurist and transhumanist, stated in his book The Singularity is Near that he believes that advanced medical nanorobotics could completely remedy the effects of aging by 2030. Mind-to-computer uploading. One idea that has been advanced involves uploading an individual's habits and memories via direct mind-computer interface. The individual's memory may be loaded to a computer or to a new organic body. Extropian futurists like Moravec and Kurzweil have proposed that, thanks to exponentially growing computing power, it will someday be possible to upload human consciousness onto a computer system and exist indefinitely in a virtual environment. This could be accomplished via advanced cybernetics, where computer hardware would initially be installed in the brain to help sort memory or accelerate thought processes. Components would be added gradually until the person's entire brain functions were handled by artificial devices, avoiding sharp transitions that would lead to issues of identity, thus running the risk of the person to be declared dead and thus not be a legitimate owner of his or her property. After this point, the human body could be treated as an optional accessory and the program implementing the person could be transferred to any sufficiently powerful computer. Another possible mechanism for mind upload is to perform a detailed scan of an individual's original, organic brain and simulate the entire structure in a computer. What level of detail such scans and simulations would need to achieve to emulate awareness and whether the scanning process would destroy the brain, is still to be determined. It is suggested that achieving immortality through this mechanism would require specific consideration to be given to the role of consciousness in the functions of the mind. An uploaded mind would only be a copy of the original mind and not the conscious mind of the living entity associated in such a transfer. Without a simultaneous upload of consciousness, the original living entity remains mortal, thus not achieving true immortality. Research on neural correlates of consciousness is yet inconclusive on this issue. Cybernetics, creating a human cyborg. Transforming a human into a cyborg can include brain implants or extracting a human processing unit and placing it in a robotic life support system. Replacing biological organs with robotic ones could increase lifespan, e.g. pacemakers, and depending on the definition, many technological upgrades to the body, like genetic modifications or the addition of nanobots would qualify an individual as a cyborg. Some people believe that such modifications would make one impervious to aging and disease and theoretically immortal unless killed or destroyed. Cryonics. Cryonics, the practice of preserving organisms, either intact specimens or only their brains, for possible future revival by storing them at cryogenic temperatures where metabolism and decay are almost completely stopped, can be used to pause for those who believe that life extension technologies will not develop sufficiently within their lifetime. Ideally, cryonics would allow clinically dead people to be brought back in the future after cures to the patient's diseases have been discovered and aging is reversible. Modern cryonics procedures use a process called vitrification which creates a glass-like state rather than freezing as the body is brought to low temperatures. This process reduces the risk of ice crystals damaging the cell structure, which would be especially detrimental to cell structures in the brain, as their minute adjustment evokes the individual's mind.